I know it's been fire all month long. I don't know what to tell you. This is Women's History Month, and we celebrate. We going, woo! We going up. We getting ready to have so much fun, y'all. These interviews, you're going to love them. These women have been dropping fire, dropping knowledge. You better pull out, if you have not already, if this is your first time, your second time, I don't know how many times you don't watch these interviews. You already know. You better have your pen and paper ready because the knowledge is getting ready to be dropped. You getting ready to find you. I declare and decree you are going to find somebody over the course of this series that you are going to work with. You will work with, and they're going to help you take what you're doing and take it to the next level. So, all right, y'all, I got somebody that I just love hanging out with. Let me tell you, first of all, don't discredit how you meet people. We met via the web. Yes, this is one of my internet connections. And then we finally met in person, and it's been awesome ever since. It's just been, a divine connection. You cannot discredit how you meet people, but you always have to make sure that you show up as your authentic self, because when you show up as your authentic self, then it's always a win-win situation. So not to hold out, not to wait any longer. We're getting ready to bring up our guest for tonight's show, and it's none other than herself, Miss Apostle Sabrina McKenzie. Hey, girl. Woo! Hey. Yep. What's going on, girl?
Work. Busy as usual.
Right.
I have the Black women syndrome. Very bad.
Oh, I know. Because it's almost like Rihanna's song. You got to work.
Yeah.
Work, like my theme song.
Yes, that is our theme song. And we love it. When you are doing what you're called and assigned to do, it doesn't feel like work. And that's when you can do it all the time. So you have to really be operating in your purpose so you don't feel like you're working.
Absolutely. So for those of you that are not familiar with who you are and what you do, why don't you share with them what you're doing and how and who you are and how you're doing? Because y'all, believe it or not, she actually has done reality TV. Don't sleep. So don't sleep on the word apostle. Don't sleep and don't think that she's not out here in these streets doing things. So I'm going to go ahead and let her tell y'all who she is and what she does.
So I'm Dr. Apostle Sabrina McKenzie. As Deborah mentioned, I have a reality show on Bravo called In a Man's World, executive produced by Viola Davis, 3-time Academy Award winner. And the show describes women who are breaking glass ceilings in the marketplace in male-dominated industries. So on the show, I am serving as a pastor. I also am an author of 11 books. I also am a women's rights activist. I am a chaplain by trade. I am a dancing preacher. I am a mom. And more importantly, I'm a lover of Jesus. How about that?
I love it. And I think the biggest thing that really stands out to me is that you are a woman that is active in ministry, working, that's unashamed of who she is and working out in this industry that most people don't connect with, let's say, with the Jesus in me out front.
Yeah, I found that, and also I grew up in a very traditional church, a very traditional background. And when I was growing up, it was not a common thing for preachers to operate in the marketplace full time, or it was not really accepted. However, Jesus, when he looked for his disciples and he chose people to work with, everybody that he found had a marketplace job. He found an accountant. He found a fisherman. He found people that were actively engaged. So if you just want to come to the church and die in the four walls, then the church is not really about you. God is calling us to occupy until he comes on earth as it is in heaven. So when you get saved, that means that you're saved and you're anointed to do something. That means you got to get busy, and you got to get busy in the marketplace.
Absolutely. And so many times when we get in the marketplace, since you brought that up,
since we gonna talk about it.
Look, let's talk about it, because so many times when we connect, and look, let me make sure I'm in the camera. When we say church and marketplace, a lot of times the church wants us that's in marketplace to diminish ourselves. How do we, and I've asked this question when it's come up a lot of times, because I want to hear what their thought process is, because so many times we feel like we have to downgrade who we are in our services when we do work for the church or work for something in ministry. How do you make that work? How do you go in and still be who you are, and I'm gonna say it like I feel it, and get paid?
Okay. I'm glad that you asked me that, because I was actually having this conversation with myself on today, and acknowledging and really I'm celebrating myself that this year 2023 I really learned the word no. And no means no in English, Spanish, and French. It's so synonymous with different languages because it's still no. And we have to get in the business of doing business with people who value us. Never shrink who you are to make other people feel better about themselves, their gifts, or whatever. Just because I love Jesus, salvation is free. But guess what? Ministry costs. Marketplace costs. My books cost. My experience, it costs. It cost me years in school. It cost me years in seminary. It cost me years of training. It cost me years of sacrifice. It cost me years of time away from my family. So why should I spend all of that sacrifice and all that time and come give it away for free? That doesn't even make sense. But for the marketplace leader, you have to be okay with turning down things that are not applicable to your assignment. Everybody is not your assignment. And so I realized, if you don't have the finances and the resources to take my course, that course may not be for you. Maybe I'll have something else. I do free things all the time, and you can jump in on that one. But I cater to a specific audience, and I don't downgrade my price, and I don't lessen or cheapen my value. Valuable things are found in the back. When you go into a jewelry store and you look at all the cubic zirconium, it's going to be in the front, it's going to be on the shelf. But when you want to bring out real diamonds, they got that hidden in the safe. I've been called to serve people that have diamond-like faith. You've gone through hell and high water to get where you are. And guess what? Diamonds come from coals. So if you're ready for the training, for the experience, of people who are qualified. I didn't get my degrees, just offline. I actually sat in class, served, trained, and now I'm willing to pour that information out on you, not for free.
Amen.
Yeah.
And that is so valuable, because a lot of times we think we have to only stay in the room with the cubic zirconia. We think that we have to just stay in that area of the look rich, but I'm not supposed to be rich, because we go through imposter syndrome. What do you say to someone, especially women in ministry? We go through that imposter syndrome. We go through that I can't afford the hat that she got on. Our church is not as big as their church. My ministry is not as big as their ministry. Or when it starts to grow, we start feeling like we don't deserve it. What do you say to that person, that woman in ministry? How can we help build her up today to know that she don't have to stay in front with the zirconia, her cubic zirconia, that she can walk back there to where the real diamonds are? Because see, another thing people got to realize, diamond comes in all shapes and sizes and prices. So how can we get them out of that cubic zirconia mentality?
I'm glad that you asked that, sis. And a few things came to mind when you said that. First of all, I want to say, never despise small beginnings. Okay. I growing up, I always got backlash because I had expensive taste. You know, I was not necessarily, I didn't grow up in the ghetto, like in the hood, because my mother came into some money and she moved us into a place called Queens. And so I had a backyard, I had a pool. I wasn't rich by no means, but I definitely wasn't poor. But even in the modest situation that I grew up in, I always had a diamond mentality. I always knew I wasn't supposed to stay there. I always knew I was a generational curse breaker. I always knew that God had his hand on my life. And I always knew that I was supposed to be rich. So if everybody was going around and they was dressed down, baby, I was coming out. My mother bought me some sneakers that says Sabrina. I would wear them. I would have my own swag, my own style. And, you know, I always got feedback and flack, because people, you know, would say, you think you all of that, and it don't take all of that. I want to tell you, I want to speak to that woman who knows you're in your situation, but your situation is not you. You may be in the ghetto, but the ghetto is not in you. You may have a small income, but that does not define who you are. You are your mentality. You don't have to, just because you live in Bankhead, you don't have to have a Bankhead mentality. So the first thing is starting with your mind. The Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And some people, you're in a small, humble beginning, but don't despise it. I want to tell you, the way out of that is to change your address in your mind. Every day that you wake up, TD Jake said, you got to dress for success. You got to dress for where you're going. You got to dress for where God is calling you to. I don't care if everybody around you got their pants sagging and their drawers hanging off their butt. Baby, get off and put on your fur coat. Go to the door and just practice and say, God is changing my location. I'm talking to the diamonds on today. It doesn't matter if you are with diamond people right now. Just begin to practice. Get dressed. Do your hair. Put on makeup. Research. Train. Study. Because God is not going to keep you in that small beginning. As you begin to change your mindset, you are changing your location. You are changing the people that you hang with. You are changing your vocation. If you are in a circle and you are the smartest one in your circle is too small. Get around people who know more than you, who think higher than you, who have a diamond mentality. It all starts with you. Come on, somebody.
Woo! Baby, I'm about to run up in here because that is so powerful. Come on, walk to the door with your fur coat on. I'm loving
Come
it.
on.
I am loving it. Because, you know, a lot of times people don't realize it's just that simple, that one simple thing that you do, that one simple thing that you just start saying to yourself and you start doing. It's like I got into the habit of just opening the door and saying, God, you are welcome into this place. And I start doing it every morning. I say, wake up my creativity, wake up who I'm supposed to be. And the crazy part, I'm just opening the door. That don't mean God is not in your space, but you doing something physical to make you into actual. Yeah. So you is like, it's giving you that vision, because sometimes we don't realize that what we do, and we do it consistently, gets into our mind, our heart, and our spirit. And then once we get it into our mind, our heart, and our spirit, it starts to work. You start to attract, because you, again, like I told you, how we met was just like really the laws of attraction, because I started to change how I was thinking. And for all I know, you started changing how you were thinking. And that's when people start to come to you and gravitate to you. So this is my next question for you. Is like, how do you know? Now, this is the key right here. This is a juicy one. How do you know when you start getting into that spirit of attraction, you also start to attract the wrong ones? How do we get rid of those? And then what is a good test to know that this person is? Because you've been in this a while, so I know you have done this. How do you know it's time to let this person go because they were only attracted to you because of where you were going or on your way to?
Okay, I'm glad that you asked me that. So a few things come to mind when you say that. First of all, when you begin to elevate your mind, when you begin to think things that are good, that are pure, meditate on those things that are perfect. I want to just touch basis first on what you said, Deborah, when you said affirmation. You go and you open your door and you say, God, you're welcome in here. Begin to affirm where you are and where you want to go. I'm the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. I'm seated in heavenly places. I'm rich and I'm a lender to nations and not a borrower. Blessed am I going, blessed am I coming. I have the favor of the Lord. I am a bank. Therefore, the Lord banks on me. You got to speak those things as though they were. Now, she asked me, how do you know when you are going higher or when it's time to let people go? Well, I would like to liken it to a air balloon. Those air balloons that are the real huge ones, when they're down on the ground, they have different sacks in them. And those sacks are actually keeping them on the ground. But when the owner or the trainer or the one that's using it is ready for those air balloons to go high, they have to take off the baggage. Some of y'all need to undress and start taking off the baggage, because God is calling you higher. He is elevating you. He is taking you to the next level. And those homies that you were with, those old friends, that old boyfriend, that old, those old people, your old classmates, they are not ready to elevate. And therefore, you got to get rid of the baggage, because you cannot go higher until you dump some things off. And it's time to dump. Now, how do you know that it's time for you to elevate and go higher? When you renew your mind. Like Deborah and I said, we met in a mutuality of just the airspace. When you renew your mind, you elevate your energy, and high energy equals high energy. God will start bringing things into your path that will elevate you. I remember one day when I started practicing mind elevation. I started practicing affirmations. And by the way, I wrote a book, a prayer journal that you can say your daily affirmations every single day. Since January 2023, 4 things have manifested by me just using the power of elevating my mind and speaking those things as though they were. But here goes an example. When I began to practice this in 2022, one day this guy inboxed me. Now, this particular gentleman was the highest at the time income earner. He was a 9-figure income earner in the multi-level marketing, the MLM industry. And he inboxed me, wanted to get to know me, wanted to take me out to eat, wanted to have a drink, XYZ. And he was like, I don't even know how I came across you. It's so interesting. And I sent a message back to him and said, I know how you came across me, because I elevated my mind. I changed my frequency. Some of y'all right here need to change your frequency right now, because God is calling you higher. And you don't have to worry about letting people go. As you go higher, them bags gonna start falling off. As you go higher, the people that don't want to get up early and stay up late, they gonna start falling off. As you go higher and you say, I can't go to the mall because I got to study today, those girlfriends are gonna start dropping off. You don't have to worry about shifting your circle. As you elevate your mind and change your frequency, new ones are going to come in and the old ones are going to fall off. Come on, somebody.
Woo! Girl, I hope y'all taking notes of everything that she dropping on us today, because that hot air balloon just did something for me. That's what I want to drop the mic. I need to drop the mic.
Yes,
I was like, that did something for me, because I was like, all I can see is that you are that hot air balloon. As you are going up, that baggage that was keeping you on the ground, you got to drop them things off and see. I'm visual, and so I just started seeing names on those bags.
Come on, dead weight.
I saw that bag of meeting people that stabbed you in the back, and you still holding on to it. I'm thinking I saw that bag of people that was lying on you, that was cheating on you, that was using you for your gift. Yeah, I saw all of that just falling off. See, y'all got
that, Deborah. I see bags of depression. I see bags of fear. I see bags of debt. I see bags of generational curses. Come on, you got to let all of that. You got to change your garment. Oh my God. You got to change your clothes. You got to Deborah said, put the fur coat on, go to the door and open it and call those things good in. But in order to do that, you got to let go of some fear. Let go of some debt. Let go of those things and let go of some people.
Child, that's a whole workshop right there. Because see, what you need to do is start putting them names on them bags. And as you go up, just take them off. Just take them off. You know, like we used to do in school, you put the Velcro, the little Velcro thing, let and just listen to it. Okay, so that's
a good leadership exercise. I love that. You know, create the balloon and just name your bag. Whatever that bag is that you want to get rid of. And every day that you wake up, rip that thing up. Throw it in the trash. You could throw it in the trash and you ain't got to worry about it no more. Just speak what you want to see. What you want to be.
Look, we done created a whole workshop. Y'all don't be trying to take our workshop. Don't try it. Don't try it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I could be on here all day because see, when I'm all about that motivation, I'm all about pushing that energy onto other people because somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to know that they can let go of the bags and that it's okay to go higher. But we got to bring this thing to it. And I want to ask you our last question. When you hear Church Girl CEO, what does that mean to you?
That means a woman who is unashamed, unafraid, fearless, godly, placing God first, seeking first the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness, and knowing that God is going to add all things. For God is giving us a Proverbs 31 anointing, the ability to obtain wealth, for the wealth of the wicked is laid up just for you, church girl. So you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be intimidated. You don't have to wear a whole dashiki with a long skirt to your ankles. You can go and command and do business. You don't even have to say the name of Jesus in the marketplace. When you go in, your light will shine so much that the world will be drawn to you. That is the Church Girl CEO.
Yes, that is, because you know what? Sometimes people, okay, we ain't gonna go there because we go, I'm not gonna do it. I want you to tell everybody how they can get in contact with you, how they can work with you, how they can get a copy of the book, any upcoming workshops, whatever they can do to connect with you. I want you to share that with our listeners today.
Awesome. We have a nationwide movement, okay, of women in business and ministry, a nationwide network. And so I want you guys to join us. We're going to be meeting March the 25th in Detroit. It's actually where our network kicked off, but we have network leaders all across the USA. So if you are a woman in business and in ministry, fellowship, iron sharpens iron. Remember, high energy equals high energy, and high energy equals high income. So I want you to just partner with me. Sabrina McKenzie on everything. Apostle Sabrina McKenzie on Instagram, Apostle Sabrina McKenzie on Facebook, on all social media platforms. And I'm looking forward to seeing you, Church Girl CEO.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, y'all, it has come to an end. I know this thing was fire. I know y'all, look, go ahead and hit replay. Go ahead, share it with your friends. Go ahead and be on the lookout, because anytime you see hashtag 50 high achieving women, you better click on it, because you ain't no telling what you're going to get. Y'all, look, let me go, because it's just too much for me. It's too much for me. All right, y'all, I love you to life. It ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great one.